How do you go from high school hallways to owning your very own candy and ice cream sweet shop before you can even drive? Well, our guest today did just that. At 15, he turned a sweet idea into a real storefront filled with international candies and unforgettable ice cream flavors. Juggling school, photography, and swimming, he's proving that being a teen doesn't mean you can't build something big. Get ready to hear how Munchin Hedgehog came to life, built by teen entrepreneur Max Kapytka. Hello, Max. Thank you so much for joining me on the Will and Ray podcast.
Of course.
How are you doing? How's your day going?
Doing pretty good. Been busy today and, been running around a lot, but doing good.
That's good. A little introduction about me. My name is Aanya Talati and I am 12 years old and I play softball and basketball and I love reading. I also love talking and meeting other young entrepreneurs.
Nice. There you go.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself too?
Yeah, my name is Max, or Max Kapytka is my full name. I own an ice cream store. I'm 16 years old and I've been running it since I was about 15, 14 years old.
It's really cool. What made you want to start Munchin Hedgehog at just 15 years old?
I wanted to get into business and I liked ice cream. So I figured why not get into the ice cream business? And I kind of just went on from there. I researched and, made things work and it worked out.
How did you come up with the name Munchin Hedgehog? That's a really unique name.
Originally, when we were thinking of the name, I wanted to do something with food, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But I figured, we'll do like munching, right? Like you're munching on something. And we got rid of the G.
Yeah.
And then my older sister, when we were thinking of the name, we were like, we definitely need a mascot, right? We have to have a mascot. And we decided to choose a hedgehog because she was going through some papers at the same time as we were thinking of the name. And she found a doodle that she made of a hedgehog. And so we went ahead and we chose a hedgehog. And this is actually the doodle that she used for the logo. So, yeah.
That's really cool. Did your sister create the logo?
Yes, my sister's she went to art school. She's a graphic designer. She's really good at a lot of different things. And anything like arts section or marketing or whatever, I go to her because she's way better at it than I am.
How did you go from just the idea of an ice cream shop to a full-fledged business and a real ice cream and candy store?
It was just a lot of trial and error. I mean, originally I started with just researching other places. I would meet the owners, I would talk to them. I met a lot of good people that way that helped me open up later. And it was just an idea, but I figured that it didn't have to be an idea in a sense, right? And so I kind of just kept on going, even though it probably wasn't something normal. I slowly but surely got the funds together, researched, figured everything out, and then opened up or started opening up because I actually ended up doing all the renovating myself with my family of the space we got, doing permits and all. It took a little bit, but we made it work.
Yeah, you're completely right. Running a real store is so much harder. How did you go through all the legal steps like permits and license and registering for your business?
Yeah, I mean, I researched a lot of it and I would usually just go straight to the town hall or permitting area, like the health department. I would just go straight to them and they were really helpful. They would give me all the right paperwork just the first time around, so I didn't have to keep coming back and bothering them, even though I still did do that. The people that I had met while researching also helped me, like, this is what you need, this is what you need. And I was like, okay, good, thank you. And a lot of different people helped me just along the way. If I was missing something, they told me what, and we made it work.
So how long did the entire process take from getting the idea to launching your store?
Yes, from the time that I started thinking of it and researching and then eventually towards opening up, it took about a year and a half just because permitting alone takes usually around a year. I kept on telling myself, it'll only take a couple months or something. That's never true. It always takes a really long time, especially in smaller towns. But yeah, a lot of time and a lot of effort to get a couple things done that you would think would be a lot faster, but it's really not.
Yeah, can you give us an example of that so that
Yes, for example, when I was first opening up, just to open or get my plans approved and open up later, right? And since my space is above a certain size, I had to get an architect to map out where everything's going to be. And, it's always things that you don't expect would take a lot of time. I was told by the architect, okay, we'll have this done in 1.5, 2 months maximum. The architect took about 4 months just to draw the plans. And then the town took another couple months to like approve everything, have everything looked over, all their different specialists and whatnot. And something that you'd think is like 1, 2, and you're done. It takes a whole lot more.
How did it feel the day you officially opened your shop? and it was all running?
It felt really good, but it also felt really stressful because, I mean, when I first opened up, I thought everything was gonna be perfect, but I learned really quickly that it wasn't. Took definitely took a couple weeks to get everything running smoothly, and I still find new ways to do stuff, just ways I can make something faster or easier to use or something like that.
That is something not ever a lot of people don't hear, that when you start it, you feel like, "Oh, now you started and you're done."
You're never done. Once you open is actually just when you start, you know?
That is a really good piece of advice, that you have to keep going. Something that went wrong early in the business that made the business change in a way?
I wouldn't say so much of a mistake, but kind of just a lapse in judgment from my part because originally when we were first opening, I kind of kept the whole thing a secret. And when we opened, it was like a surprise to everybody. So not a lot of people knew that we opened, which I'm definitely, that's going to change in the future. But I didn't do any marketing or anything beforehand. We just opened on a random Saturday and called it a day, which in the future, when I open my next business, it won't be like that. I'm planning on keeping it, very promoted from the very start before we're even open.
Now, how do you market? Is there a specific tip that you use that helps a lot?
I mean, most of our marketing is done on social media, and past that, probably word of mouth and, different articles or whatnot that come out about us. The thing that I've learned the most, though, is word of mouth really matters. It might be like, people might tell you, like, oh, social media is great, don't get me wrong, but word of mouth is what, like, your essential, like, honest walking reviews are. So those people talking good about you is going to help you get more people. If everybody's online, it says, oh, it's great. But if people are saying, oh, it's like, then that's not good.
So you've experienced firsthand how customer service really helps. Once you started the business, did you put more effort into a certain part of your business?
I guess I did somewhat, but not really, just because I started off with all the advice I had gotten from other business owners who were already successful. So I knew better where I should be focusing on. There were like parts I adjusted, like whenever somebody comes in, they have to get greeted. You have to acknowledge they're there. You can't just be standing there awkwardly while they're walking in.
What's the smartest decision you've made at the beginning of the business?
I would say marketing on social media, which I know that's contradictory to what I just said, but when I first opened up the business, I was posting every single day on social media, 7 days a week, sometimes even twice a day, and I think that really helped me just grow an audience on like Instagram and Facebook. And we don't post that much on TikTok, but sometimes we do.
Yeah. And you've been running the business for what, 2, 3 years now?
So, it's been almost 3 years since I started working on the business, but we've been running the business for a year and 2 or 3 months.
Wow. How do you make sure the business stays sustainable?
I'm always there. I'm always working, and I make sure everything's tip top shape. And I try not to miss too much time away from the business because I like to make sure that things run the way they should.
Of course, challenges can crop up without notice. So, how do you deal with slow business days or supply shortages?
It depends. Sometimes if it's really slow, we'll post like a special, right? Like, oh hey, it's raining, for example, and you can get $1 off your scoop when it's raining or something
Okay.
like that. And then that gets folks in. When we have supply shortages, I mean, there's really not much we can do about that except for wait for more supplies to come. We're transparent with the customers. We just tell them, hey, we don't have it at the moment. We hopefully will tomorrow.
That was really smart, the special idea. Now let's switch gears and go into inside the business. So Munchin Hedgehog sells international candies and different ice cream flavors, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Can you give us a peek on what ice cream flavors you sell at Munchin Hedgehog?
Yeah, I mean, we've got total at the shop at all times. We've got 32 to probably 36 flavors. Total though, I mean, we've got over 40, probably close to 50 flavors that we've rotate in and out. We've got 60 plus international candies that we've got available from all continents except Antarctica, and we import from all over the world.
That is really cool. How do you know what candies or flavors will sell and choose to incorporate them in your business?
For the most part, it's really just trial and error. Whenever a customer asks for a certain flavor that definitely helps, I'm able to work around that. Like if multiple customers ask for like a butter pecan flavor, then I'll put that on the menu, the next couple of days. Or if somebody is like, oh, I want this type of candy, then I'll import, it's no harm to me. So I'll buy that type of candy. They'll come back. They're happy. They get the candy. So
What has been your most popular international candy?
I would say that some of the most popular is probably we have Dubai chocolate right now.
Yeah.
And we've also got what I've seen be pretty popular. They're called Australian violet crumble bites. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're familiar with them at all, but they're like
Not
these like honeycomb wafer type of like chocolate candies. They're pretty neat, and yeah, they've been pretty popular. We usually sell out of them pretty quick.
What happens if a certain flavor doesn't sell?
Usually, I mean, at least at some point, it fully sells. If it's not like a good seller, though, I mean, we just don't bring it back in the future.
Who helps you run your shop smoothly throughout the day? Because you have school, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So during the day, either my mom would be there working or one of my sisters, and I have taken days from school before where I would end up working there instead.
Do you have like employees or volunteers?
We have part-time employees, nothing like quite full-time at the moment though. I mean, for example, for today, we technically have like 3 full-time employees, but since today's like a big event, we're expecting probably 500 to 1,000 people, so we're probably going to have about 14 people working.
What event is this that you have today?
It's a car show. We host monthly car shows, and we had about 100 cars show up last time, and I'm expecting it to be that number, maybe higher today.
And you do this monthly, you said?
Yes. I mean, our first one was last month, but I want to keep doing it every month. I'm hoping for a good turnout.
That's great. Do you think that these help you bring a lot of business?
Our one parking lot for my ice cream shop can probably only fit about 30, 40 cars. And whenever we host this type of event, I actually work with other shops nearby. And, I used 5 parking lots or so last time.
Yeah. How do you mentioned this a couple of times, and I was wondering, how do you decide to partner up with different companies or collaborate with other businesses?
It really just depends on what I need in a sense. If the opportunity arises that I can collaborate with, I mean, we have a Chick-fil-A in town. I've worked with them once before. We have like different pizzerias. It's like a mutual opportunity for us to like, for example, if somebody brings in a receipt from that pizzeria and they get a free scoop, and it's like mutually beneficial. While like if somebody brings in a receipt from us, they get a free slice. It
Yeah,
works like that.
that's really awesome. Where do you see Munchin Hedgehog in the next 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, I would like to have another store open, if not more. If I could franchise, that'd be nice, but I don't know how I would do that without changing how the quality would end up being. We're obviously going to keep this store that we already have. I don't have any plans for closing or anything like that in the next couple years. Even as I go off to college, it's going to be passed down, handed up to my parents. So like it'll keep running. I don't plan on closing anytime soon.
It's amazing. What impact do you hope Munchin Hedgehog will have on your community?
A good one. I mean, we're really involved in our community. We donate a lot to various community events and a lot to the schools here too. We donate a lot, like to different games and whatnot. We provide ice cream for them free of charge. And, last year alone, we've donated several $1,000s worth of product to various different organizations and sports teams.
That is really great what you do. Do you think you may want to explore other opportunities or other hobbies?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would. The hope for me eventually is, I mean, the money I'm making for myself, I'm not spending all that much. I'm trying to save and I want to, use it towards my next venture in the future. I see myself, down the line going into probably long-term investing and probably real estate or something of the sort, if not, auto sale. So something like that.
Do you think Munchin Hedgehog gives you new life skills that you don't necessarily learn at school?
To an extent, I mean, a lot of it's just common sense, but I think that what it's given me the most is more advanced social skills because a lot of people my age unfortunately lack that nowadays because of just lack of social interaction in general. And that's why those who are more popular or something are always really friendly and innocent because they don't lack those skills to be able to just talk to someone and working at a place like that where I'm with people really helps me because I'm constantly interacting with them. I'm working, talking.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's say I wanted to start an ice cream shop as you did right now. Can you walk me through the entire process from how you started and got all the legal permits and stuff to the end and how you keep the business sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, so if you're gonna start today, I would tell you you're gonna need a lot of money. You're gonna have to find some sort of investors or get a loan from a bank. You're gonna have to find out what your state's laws and regulations are for an ice cream shop. You're gonna have to find a space, whether or not you're allowed to use that space with zoning. Take that to the town, get a permit for upfitting it and putting everything that you need in there into the space. You're gonna have to find either a place where you're gonna be making ice cream, learn how to do that, or if you don't go down that route, find somebody who will make it for you and figure that out. If you're going into candy too, you're gonna have to find distributors, try and network with other companies and see who you can get to work with you so that you can start up the store. You're on top of that, you're gonna need. I already mentioned the town, but you're gonna need health permits. You're gonna have to go through food safety handling training. I mean, in the United States, one of the most popular ones is Serve Safe. It's a 10-hour course and a 3-hour exam about everything you need to know about how to safely handle food. And there's a whole lot of like just specialty permits that you got to go through. And then after that, that space is going to have to be renovated. It's going to have to be fixed up. You're going to have to start marketing on Instagram, social media, Facebook, newspapers, coupons, anywhere where you can get your name out there. And after that, you'll eventually open up the doors. You'll start working. You'll find out what's wrong, what you can make better, how to make it work nicer. And then you'll take it and hopefully use what you learned and stay open long enough for as long as you can.
There's a lot in that. That must be really tough. What was the biggest challenge you faced as a teen entrepreneur and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge was people not taking me seriously because of my age. And the way I ended up overcoming it eventually was by just, pushing until I got what I wanted. I didn't really let that stop me. And I would, speak to, whoever I needed to speak to get things done. If somebody said no, I would go on to the next person and I'd find someone that'd say yes.
Perseverance. That's a really good piece of advice. What do you think makes Munchin Hedgehog stand out compared to the rest of the other ice cream or candy shops?
I would say something that makes us stand out is our variety. We've got a lot to offer, and we're also more community based than other shops. To touch base on what I said earlier, we're very active in our community, and we donate a lot to a lot of different things and provide a lot of different opportunities for various organizations to make money through us. Essentially, I mean, today at the car show, we're going to be having a local football league there, fundraising
Yeah.
and things like that.
If you wanted to give advice to another teen or tween wants to start a shop, what piece of advice would you give them?
I would give them the advice that it's number one, it's not as easy as it seems, but don't let that scare you away because you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get really used to no's because that's like 90% of opening up. It's no, you can't do that. No, you can't. No, 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 no. You're going to have to get used to that. And eventually you're going to get to that. Yes. Okay. And people, if you're someone younger, like what I was when I was opening up, you're going to run into that issue where, people don't take you seriously because of your age or because, they're like, oh, no, you can't do this. You're too young. What you're going to eventually realize is once you start, if you keep pushing and you get those results, once you get the results, people are going to take you a lot more seriously because they're going to realize, oh, wait a minute, they're serious.
Perseverance is really, really important in everything you do. And now let's go with our Will and Way rapid fire round. 1 minute, first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
All right.
Favorite ice cream flavor on your menu?
Cookies and cream.
Most underrated candy you sell?
There's these mini hot dogs we sell. They're really cheap and they're really I like gummies.
One topping you could eat on anything?
Oreos.
Best selling item at Munchin Hedgehog?
Dubai chocolate ice cream.
Okay. Your go-to pump-up song before a swim meet?
It really just depends. I listen to everything and I don't have a set song, to be honest with you.
Camera lens you always use for photography?
50 millimeter. It works for everything.
Wow, thanks. Biggest win moment since you opened your shop?
getting to 1 year and then getting on the news for it.
Congratulations. If you could invent one crazy ice cream flavor, what would it be?
Ice cream that cures headaches.
One word that sums up your journey as a teen entrepreneur.
Perseverance, I guess. That's it,
Yeah. Dream celebrity customer you'd love to serve.
Ooh, Ryan Reynolds. He actually lives in the town next to me. So maybe one day.
Maybe, yeah. Favorite hobby.
Exploring, going outside, just outdoors.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Max, for coming on the Will and Way podcast. And it was so amazing to finally talk and meet with you.
Of course.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation with Max Kapytka, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. By the way, if this clip reaches to Ryan Reynolds, and if you're watching this, please drop in at Munchin Hedgehog. I'm sure Max would be thrilled. And until then, remember, where there's a will, there's a way.